Every single week, most households throw away two of the most powerful natural fertilizers available to any home gardener. They go straight into the bin without a second thought. And the plants sitting just outside the window, the ones you are spending money on soil and fertilizer for, could have been fed for free the entire time. Today at Growtide Garden, we are talking about banana peels and coffee grounds, two kitchen scraps that most people discard without hesitation, and that a growing number of experienced gardeners are quietly using to produce results that would make you question every bag of synthetic fertilizer you have ever bought. I am going to show you exactly how to turn both of them into powerful liquid fertilizers, step by step, and I am going to explain the real science behind why each one works, so you are not just following a recipe blindly, but actually understanding what you are putting into your garden. Welcome back to Growtide Garden, the channel where practical growing knowledge meets honest science and zero fluff. If you are new here, this is what every video on this channel looks like. Real methods, real explanations, real results. Subscribe right now and hit the notification bell because you do not want to miss what we are putting out next. Before we get into the methods, I want to ask you something. Do you currently use any kitchen scraps in your garden? Compost, banana peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, anything at all? Or does everything go straight into the household bin? Drop your honest answer in the comments because I think the gap between how many people know about these techniques and how many people actually practice them consistently is enormous, and I want to understand where this community is starting from today. Part 1. The banana peel fertilizer that your tomatoes and peppers are craving. Let us start with banana peels, because this is the one that most people have heard of in a vague, general way without ever understanding why it actually works or how to use it correctly for maximum effect. The reason banana peels matter to your garden comes down to one mineral above almost everything else: potassium. Banana peels are one of the richest natural sources of potassium available to the home gardener, and potassium is one of the three primary macronutrients that plants need in significant quantities alongside nitrogen and phosphorus. But here is what most people do not fully appreciate about potassium specifically. Its role in plant health is not general or vague. It is precise and critical. Potassium is directly responsible for regulating the movement of water and nutrients within plant tissue. It supports the development of strong root systems. It plays a central role in flower formation and fruit development. And it is the nutrient most directly linked to the natural sugar content and flavor quality of fruit crops like tomatoes, peppers, strawberries, and cucumbers. A tomato plant or pepper plant that is getting adequate potassium produces fruit that is sweeter, more flavorful, and more evenly developed than one that is running low. And the frustrating reality is that many home garden soils and container growing media are deficient in potassium, particularly after a season or two of growing hungry crops without replenishment. Banana peel fertilizer is a free, natural, immediately actionable way to address that deficiency. Here is how to make it correctly, and the details matter more than most people realize. Start by cutting your banana peels into very small pieces before you do anything else. This is not just a convenient step. Cutting the peels into small pieces dramatically increases the surface area exposed to water during soaking, which allows the potassium and other minerals to release into the liquid up to 3 times faster than soaking whole or large pieces of peel. Smaller pieces mean faster nutrient extraction and a more concentrated final product in the same soaking time. Place the cut pieces into a clean glass jar. Add 500 milliliters of clean water. Then let the mixture soak for a minimum of 6 hours. Overnight soaking, 8 to 12 hours, is better. You know the liquid is ready when it has turned a light brown color. That color change is the visual indicator that potassium and other soluble minerals from the peel have moved into the water. That is your fertilizer. After soaking, strain the liquid completely through a clean cloth or fine mesh strainer. Remove every piece of solid material. This step is not optional, and I want to explain exactly why. Organic particles left in the liquid will continue to decompose after you apply it to the soil. That decomposition process can create conditions favorable to mold growth and harmful bacterial activity around the base of your plant. Removing all solids keeps the nutrient solution clean, in its most bioavailable form and free of the organic material that attracts unwanted microbial activity at root level. Before you apply the liquid, take a moment to gently loosen the top layer of soil around the base of the plant with a stick, a fork, or your fingers. This breaks up any surface crust that has formed from repeated watering, allows oxygen back into the top of the soil profile, and critically, ensures that the liquid fertilizer soaks down into the root zone rather than running off the surface and being wasted. This soil loosening step takes 30 seconds and makes a meaningful difference in how effectively your plant absorbs what you are about to give it. Pour the strained banana peel liquid directly onto the loosened soil at the base of the plant. Apply consistently once per week throughout the active growing and fruiting season. With regular weekly application, the potassium supply to the root zone stays consistent, and that consistency is what drives the results you are looking for. Now here is the part one want to be completely straight with you about, because at Growtide Garden, we do not oversell results. Banana peel fertilizer is a genuinely effective natural potassium supplement. It is not a complete plant fertilizer. It does not supply adequate nitrogen or phosphorus on its own, and those nutrients are equally essential for overall plant health and productivity. Use banana peel fertilizer as part of a broader feeding approach that includes a nitrogen source such as compost or diluted organic matter, not as your sole fertility input. Used correctly as a potassium supplement, the results on flowering and fruiting crops are real and noticeable. Used as a replacement for a complete nutrition program, the results will disappoint you. Here is a controversial question for the comments. Do you think homemade natural fertilizers like banana peel tea can genuinely compete with quality commercial fertilizers? Or do you think gardeners who rely primarily on kitchen scrap fertilizers are leaving significant yield on the table? I have a strong opinion on this, and I am curious whether yours matches mine. Tell me what you think. Part 2. The coffee ground fertilizer that professional growers do not talk about. If banana peels are the potassium story, coffee grounds are the nitrogen story. And nitrogen is the engine of plant growth in a way that nothing else quite matches. It is the nutrient most directly linked to vigorous vegetative development, deep green leaf color, strong stem growth, and the overall photosynthetic capacity of the plant. A plant that is well supplied with nitrogen looks different from one that is not. It is bigger, greener, more lush, and more capable of supporting heavy fruit production because it has developed the structural foundation to carry it. Coffee grounds contain meaningful levels of nitrogen along with magnesium and phosphorus, two additional nutrients that play important supporting roles in plant health and fruit development. Magnesium is a component of chlorophyll, the molecule responsible for photosynthesis, which means adequate magnesium is directly linked to the plant's ability to produce energy from sunlight. Phosphorus supports root development and energy transfer within the plant, particularly during the transition from vegetative growth to flowering and fruiting. What makes coffee grounds particularly interesting as a garden input beyond their nutrient content is the biological effect they have on the soil environment. The organic matter in coffee grounds feeds beneficial soil microorganisms that break it down and, in the process, make nutrients available to plant roots through a natural biological exchange. And the mild acidity and distinctive aroma of coffee have a secondary effect that is worth mentioning. They are genuinely repellent to certain garden pests, particularly slugs and ants, without any toxicity to the plant, the soil, or the broader garden ecosystem. Here is how to use coffee grounds as a liquid fertilizer correctly. The first and most important step is one that most guides skip entirely. Dry the coffee grounds before using them. Fresh, wet coffee grounds clump together and do not disperse evenly in water, which results in uneven nutrient extraction and a higher risk of mold development in the mixture. Spread used coffee grounds on a flat surface and allow them to dry completely before moving to the next step. This takes a day or two at room temperature and makes the entire process significantly more effective. Place 2 tablespoons of dried coffee grounds into a clean glass jar. Add 1 liter of water at room temperature. The temperature matters here. Hot water can alter the chemical structure of some of the mineral compounds in the coffee grounds, and can also kill beneficial microorganisms that contribute to the biological activity of the final solution. Room temperature water preserves both. Stir the mixture well to distribute the grounds evenly through the water. Then allow it to rest undisturbed for a full 24 hours. This extended soaking period is what allows the nutrients to dissolve fully into the water, creating a solution that plant roots can absorb efficiently through the natural process of osmosis. After 24 hours, strain the liquid completely through a fine mesh sieve or clean cloth. Every particle of solid coffee ground material needs to be removed. The same logic applies here as with the banana peel liquid. Undecomposed organic particles left in the solution continue breaking down after application, creating conditions that favor mold, block the microscopic air pores and soil particles that roots rely on for oxygen exchange, and attract insects you do not want congregating around the base of your plants. The filtered liquid is clean, nutrient-dense, and in the optimal form for immediate root absorption. Loosen the soil surface around the base of your plant before applying. Pour the filtered coffee ground tea directly onto the loosened soil. Apply once per week as part of your regular watering routine. Now here is something I want to flag that I think is genuinely important, and that gets glossed over in a lot of coffee ground gardening content. Coffee is acidic. Not dramatically so, but meaningfully so. Regular application of coffee ground tea will gradually lower the pH of your soil over time. For acid-loving plants like blueberries, roses, azaleas, and some herbs, this is a benefit. For plants that prefer neutral to alkaline soil, excessive coffee ground application can create conditions that limit nutrient availability even as you are adding nutrients. Monitor your plants for signs of pH-related stress, such as yellowing between leaf veins, and alternate coffee ground tea with other liquid fertilizers rather than using it as your only input. Variety in your feeding approach produces more balanced results than relying heavily on any single input. Subscribe to GrowTide Garden right now if you have not already, because next time we are going deeper into soil pH and how it affects everything your plants are able to absorb. It is one of those topics that changes how you think about every feeding decision you make. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you catch it the moment it goes live. Combining both. The weekly feeding routine that covers all the bases. Here is something practical I want to leave you with. Because banana peel tea and coffee ground tea address different nutritional needs, using both in a coordinated weekly routine is smarter than choosing one or the other. Apply banana peel tea one week and coffee ground tea the following week, alternating between the two throughout the growing season. This gives your plants a steady supply of potassium from the banana peel application and a steady supply of nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus from the coffee ground application, without the risk of overloading the soil with any single nutrient or acid source. Alternate the two consistently, and you have a free, kitchen scrap-based feeding program that covers 2 of the 3 primary macronutrients your plants need most. For the third primary macronutrient, phosphorus, compost or well-rotted manure mixed into the growing medium at planting and refreshed through the season will cover what the liquid applications do not fully address. Together, these completely natural inputs form a feeding system that costs almost nothing and produces results that a lot of expensive synthetic fertilizer programs cannot match for overall plant health and fruit quality. I want to know in the comments whether you are going to try one of these methods, both of them, or whether you are skeptical that kitchen scraps can genuinely make a measurable difference. Be honest. I would rather have a real debate in these comments than a room full of people just agreeing. And if you have already used banana peel tea or coffee ground tea in your garden and you have seen actual results, I especially want to hear from you. Tell me what you observed and how long it took. Your real-world experience is exactly what helps every other gardener watching this video make a better informed decision. Your complete action plan. Banana peel fertilizer. Cut peels into small pieces. Soak in 500 milliliters of clean water for 6 to 12 hours until the water turns light brown. Strain completely. Loosen the soil around the base of the plant. Apply weekly throughout the growing and fruiting season for consistent potassium supply that supports root strength, flowering, and fruit flavor. Coffee ground fertilizer. Dry used grounds completely before using. Steep 2 tablespoons in 1 liter of room temperature water for 24 hours. Strain completely. Loosen soil. Apply weekly. Alternate with banana peel tea rather than applying both every week. Monitor soil pH over time and adjust application frequency accordingly. Both methods are free. Both are based on real plant nutrition science. Both produce measurable results when used consistently as part of a complete feeding approach. And both turn something you were throwing away every week into something your garden genuinely needs. That is what GrowTide Garden is about. Finding the smart solution, making it completely accessible, and making sure you understand why it works so you can adapt it to your own garden with confidence. Drop a comment before you go and tell me which of these 2 fertilizers you are trying first and why. Give this video a thumbs up if it gave you something useful. And if you are not yet subscribed to GrowTide Garden, this is your moment. We have more of this coming every single week, and this community keeps getting better. Take care of your garden. Take care of yourself. And I will see you in the next one.